आप स्क्रीन शेयर कराओ मेरे को।
जी सर जी। One minute, sir. I will do it. Namaskar. Myself, Dr. Pramod Kumar Gupta. I am inviting Dr. D.N. Sansanwal for today's program. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Dear participants, let us start today's program. Now, before I start, if you have any question to ask related to whatever we did yesterday, then you are welcome. You can write your question either in the chat box or in the question answer box. I will read and let you know the answer. And if you do not have any answer, then I will start within 2 minutes. I'm just waiting for 2 minutes so that if there is any question, then you can ask me. Okay, then today's topic, as you must have seen, is the research proposal writing. So, say I am considering this from two angles. One, those people who want to do their research at a doctoral level, then how that person will write the proposal. And if there is already a staff member who is interested in writing a proposal and sending it to some funding agency. Now, to the teachers, I like to tell you right in the beginning that if you are thinking of sending a proposal to DST, those who are from science area or from any CSIR, those who are from social science, if they want to send it to the UGC or to ICSSR or to NCRT, etc., then you must see their website, and they already have a pro forma which you should use while writing the proposal for the project for which you are seeking the funding. So therefore, I will take both and I will tell you how exactly the difference is between the proposal which you are writing for the degree and the proposal which you are writing for getting the funds. Right in the beginning, it is very clear that it is a proposal. And when it is a proposal, majority part of the research proposal will be written in the future tense. But there will be some captions where you have to give information in the present tense. So I will tell you when to use a present tense and when to use a future tense. Okay, so therefore majority part of the proposal is to be written in the future tense. And why in the future tense? Because this is what you intend to do. You are not doing. You are thinking of doing. You are proposing of doing. So that is why it has to be always in the future tense. Okay. And so the structure, if you want to do research for a degree, the PhD, each university has a pro forma which is to be used by the research fellows who want to submit their proposal for the PhD degree. So therefore, universities also have the format, and different funding agencies also have the formats. So accordingly, you must refer to the formats. But in all the formats, there will be a lot of common captions, the common requirement. So I will be telling you those common requirements. Now, for any proposal, you have to write the title. And yesterday, I gave one example of the title which you can write. Okay. And in that title, I have already told you that you must give the 3 information. आप जो हैं, इसको जो प्रपोजल आप लिखेंगे, ये एक पीएचडी की डिग्री के लिए होता है और एक आप किसी भी संस्था से अगर पैसा लेकर के करना चाहें उसके लिए होता है। दोनों के लिए प्रपोजल जो होता है वो उनकी वेबसाइट पे उसका फॉर्मेट है, आपको उसी को देखना है। लेकिन जो लोग बाग पीएचडी भी करना चाहते हैं, वो भी अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी, जिस यूनिवर्सिटी से आप करना चाहते हैं, उस यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट पे जाकर के आप फॉर्मेट देख लीजिए और उसके ही अकॉर्डिंग आपको लिखना है। लेकिन इन दोनों में काफी कुछ कॉमन है और जो आप प्रपोजल लिखेंगे वो आप फ्यूचर टेंस में लिखेंगे, भविष्य काल में लिखेंगे। वर्तमान काल में बहुत कम है जगह जहां पर के आपको लिखना है, अदरवाइज अधिकतर आपको जो है उसको भूतकाल में ही नहीं, फ्यूचर टेंस में ही आपको लिखना पड़ेगा। Now, the title which I told you and that I wrote for the survey one, कल मैंने एक शीर्षक लिखा था, वो सर्वे की रिसर्च के लिए थे। तो आपको सबसे पहले टाइटल लिखना है और the quality of your title will increase the chances of acceptance of your proposal, because many a times the proposal is rejected on the basis of the title. Many a times the titles are not properly written, and that is why they are technically incorrect. So you have to be careful when you are writing the title. Now, if you have to write title for the experimental study, because there must be some researcher from science side. So in experimental study, you have to write the word effect. You know, there are three words. One word is called effect. Another word is called influence. Another word is called impact. All these three words are very different. You write the effect word for use effect word for experimental study. You use influence word for survey study. Use impact word for assessing government policy. If there is a government policy and you want to study that, then it has to be, the word has to be impact word. Because in impact, your population is widespread. In effect and influence, your population is not widespread. So you must understand these three words very well. So let me write one title for experimental study. So one title for experimental study. Do you want, should I write one title for experimental study or no? If participants you want, then I can write. Otherwise, if you don't want, I will not write. Okay. Let me write one title for experimental study. So title for experimental research. Say a study of effect. A study of effect of different modes of teaching a study of effect of different modes of teaching on achievement in history. Or let me take another one. I may say the physical exercise. So a study of effect of physical exercises on weight, physical exercises on, I took stress on stress, A study of effect of physical exercise on stress of college teachers. A study of effect of physical exercises on college teachers of India. And a study of effect of physical exercises on stress of college teachers of Delhi University. A study of effect of physical exercises on stress of college teachers of Hindu college teachers of Hindu college teachers, Delhi. Now, out of these, which one do you think is more better title? Which one is better title? Which one is better title? Now, the eighth one is not the better title for research at PhD level. But if you want to do a research for action research, it is all right. So it is okay for action research. This title is okay for action research, but not for research at a PhD level. Either you can take your title number 7 will be appropriate, not title number 6. Because title number 6, your population is too widespread. It is India. And therefore you cannot take such a widespread population. So your 7th one is appropriate, not the 8th one. 8th one is only for the action research, because whatever finding you have, these findings cannot be extended to the teachers of the Ramjas College or teachers of the Sri Ram College or teachers of the Miranda House or the teachers of Kirodimal College or any other college. So therefore, the 7th one is the most appropriate title. And in this one, the moment you use the word effect, it indicates that it has to be an experimental study. In that title, you need not to write the word experimental. In that title, you need not to write the word historical, philosophical, survey. No, there is no need. Without writing the title, these words in the title, you can still find out that which type of research will it be. Okay. Now, analytical research means what? Is it a quantitative research or qualitative research? What is analytical? Whatever, whether it is analytical or whatever it is, you should know it, that it must have a variable. Now, if analytical is not qualitative, my dear friend, qualitative is all right. I gave you the example. Okay, I can give you one title for the qualitative research. I hope you have understood it. Let us take one more. Another example. And this I'm taking very simple. So if you like, you can take anyone you like, no problem at all. Suppose if I say a study of educational system, a study of educational system during English period. A study of educational system during English period in India. Now your fourth one is appropriate, and your educational system, you may take curriculum, you may take class teachers qualification, you may take the methods of teaching, you may study the evaluation procedure, anything. All these will be qualitative in nature. So this is how you can write, and this is for this title is for historical research, because here I have written English period in India, because English period was in Australia also and in other places, so it's India. So this is how you can write the title. Now I'm going ahead with the proposal. So therefore, what you have to do is that proposal writing. So what you have to do is, first of all, that you have to write the title. Okay, there will be top page, and in that top page, your title must be there, then your institute name, that a proposal for doctoral degree or a proposal for the project in this subject, and the guide, if it is PhD, then guide name and student name. Let me tell you how exactly it has to be written. Say you have to write the title, whatever is the title that you have. After that, then you keep a space, and then you write proposal for doctoral thesis, and whatever is the subject that you have to write, whatever is the subject. Okay, submitted to here you have to write name of the university, okay, proposal for doctoral thesis submitted to this. Then after that, what you have to do is that here your guide signature, then here your candidate signature, and then here you have to write the address of the department or address of the institute, which is the research center. So address of research center. That's what you have to write. And then this has to be forwarded by the head of the department, by the dean to the university. Okay, in case of a PhD, if it is not a PhD, if it is for a project, then it has to be forwarded by the head of the department, then by the dean, and then it has to be forwarded by the registrar of the university to the funding agency. This is what you have to do. And you should always keep a copy of it for your reference. Okay. Now, after this is your top page. Then in the next page, the proposal starts. Okay. In that one, you should now write the captions. You have to write first, the 1.0 is introduction. This introduction, when you are writing, this introduction should have this introduction which you are writing. What are the information that you have to write? Number one, that the opening sentence must reflect the subject in which you want to do that research and the aspect of that particular subject. So therefore, if I say that this research will be related to stress, a psychological aspect, will be related to, or you can say will be related to stress, a psychological aspect. In this proposal, information is given under captions. Now, you have to write the name of the captions in the same sequence as they appear in your proposal. The main purpose of introduction is that the reader will immediately know the sequence in which you have given the information. And if you do not follow a particular sequence, then it will be difficult for the reader to find out under what heads you have written and where, on which page it will be available, or where will it be available, or after which heading it will be available. So it's always important. So I will tell you these captions. Now, what you have to do is to start with you have to write the few captions, and the main purpose of these few captions is you have to develop the conceptual or theoretical background. So I cannot really write the caption headings because it all depends upon the variable which you have taken. if you want about stress, I can definitely write some of the captions, but that may not be very useful for most of you. So the two main captions, the zero means these are main captions, and whenever main captions, you have to write them in capital. Or maybe you write four main captions. And the purpose of these captions is to develop the theoretical background. The theoretical background is very important, or conceptual background, because without understanding the theoretical background, the reader will not be able to understand your research. So this has to be done meticulously. If suppose you have to talk about the stress, and if you want to do the, say, the experimental study, then you must know the types of stress, then you must know what are the different strategies available for managing the stress, and then you can write them. Because if the reader reads this, then he will be able to understand your research very well. Now, once that may be in two separate captions or maybe in three separate captions, I cannot tell you the caption headings of this. And therefore, I'm not writing the caption heading in introduction. Okay. Now, once you have done that, then your 5.0 will be review of related literature. Please see, it is not review of literature. It has to be review of related literature. Why related? Because if I'm doing research related to the stress, then I must know what are the researches which have been conducted related to the different aspect of the stress. According to my title, it was an experimental study, so I may like to find out what are the different strategies or techniques which people have experimented on in order to find out how the stress can be managed with the help of those techniques. Okay. And then stress of the male and stress of the female, stress of younger, and so on and so forth. So the review is review of related literature. In many of the theses, I have found that they do not write the word related. They write the word review of literature, which is very, very, very broad. And therefore, in proposal, it is advisable that you have to be very, very pinpointed. The more pinpointed you are, then it is always improve the chances of accepting your proposal. But if you are vague, then there are more chances of getting your proposal rejected. So, well, it depends upon you whether you want that your proposal must be accepted, then you have to be pinpointed. Okay, now in the review, when you are writing the review, this review, when you are developing the theoretical background or conceptual background, it has to be written in the present tense. But when you come to the review of related literature, it has to be written in the past tense. It cannot be written in the present tense. It has to be in the past tense because work has already been published and you are referring to that published work because it has been completed and degree has been awarded. If you are taking it from the thesis or if you are taking it from the journal, then paper has already been printed, published. So it has to be in the past tense. Now, what should you do? Now, how many researches should you collect so that you are able to write your review of related literature? This review of related literature will improve the need and importance of your research. It will improve the rationale of your research. It will strengthen the rationale of your research. But if you are not able to do this one properly, then you will not be able to really do it. Okay, so this is important. Just now, Siddiqui, I will tell you when to write 1.1 and 1.2. Don't worry, I am writing. Okay. Now, if suppose I decide that the review of related literature I am collecting, I may collect for the last 5 years, starting from 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, like that. And if I find not many researches have been conducted, then I may still extend my time period. Everything depends upon how many researches do you want to write your rationale strongly or to make your rationale strong. And that's what you have to use it under the review of related literature. Okay. I'll tell you later on that in many of the subjects, in especially science subjects, you must have seen that review paper is the one whose impact factor is very high. Why? Because the lot of people will be referring to that particular research. The more the people refer to a particular research, then that research will have a high impact factor. It has impacted so many people. It has impacted so many researchers. Okay, so that has to be done. So now, so you collect, and when you are collecting, what are you collecting? Which information will you be collecting? That I will tell you just now when I will say how to write. Now, if you want that you have collected the researches related to, say, different aspects of the stress, if I take stress as my variable, okay, and say physical exercise. So I may say that the researches have been, researches were conducted related to strategies of stress management, related to strategies of stress management, gender and stress. Okay, then type of job and stress, and a local and stress. Researches have been conducted related to strategies of teaching, gender and this, then types of job and stress, local and stress. The related researches are being presented under different headings as given above. Now I take 5.1 and I say strategies of stress management. So I say this and I say strategies of stress management. And after that, then naturally, I have another will be gender and stress. Okay. And then after that, it will be types of job, and then it will be one more caption, local and stress. If you want to have another one, well, the choice is yours. Absolutely no problem. Now, under each heading, now strategies of stress management. If you have found, let us say 20 researches related to strategies of stress management, then you can write here that 20 researches were found related to strategies of stress management. These were by. Now you have to write here the last name of the 20 researches which you have found. And let us say the one research was supposed by Yadav. Yadav is the last name, and the year in which this particular research was published was 1987. So you write these researches in the ascending order. Dear friends, I have seen some of the PhD theses where they are writing the review of related literature in the descending order, not in the ascending order. That means they start from the 2020, they go to 2019, 2018, and like that. But I will advise you not to do this, because if you do in the reverse order, it is difficult for you to find the trend. If you want to find the trend, then it's always better to write it in the ascending order, which I am now doing. So Yadav, the last name, 1980, say Sharma. I'm just writing like that. Sharma, say 1999. Okay. Then Kohli, say 2002, like this. So you should write all that. So there must be 20 names like this. Now you take the first name, Yadav, and please don't write initials. Now there must be the 20 paragraph. So when you are writing about the Yadav, then you should write what was the objective. That Yadav studied the effect of physical exercises on stress of teachers. Okay? Or if you want, you can write the objective here directly, no problem. That Yadav, let me write, compared physical exercises with relaxing, compared physical exercises. Yadav compared mean scores of stress of teachers mean scores of stress of teachers belonging to physical exercises and relaxing groups. Suppose this is the hypothesis was that there is no significant difference in I can copy paste significant difference in mean scores of stress of teachers belonging to this and this exercise. Objective and the hypothesis has to be taken from whatever the source that you are having. And if they are writing hypothesis in the future tense, you also should, because you are reporting, you are quoting that Yadav. So if he has not written the hypothesis correctly, you need not to change it, because you are not writing hypothesis for your research. You are quoting whatever Yadav has said. So this you should write. And whatever the way he has written the objective, and you have to take only that objective which is related to this particular aspect. If he has another objective related to gender, then you quote it there also. That's okay, perfectly correct. But do not club the two variable related studies in one in one. Okay. After that, then you have to write the information about the sample. Then you should write the sampling technique, whatever the sampling technique that person has written. Then you should write the sample size, whatever he has written. And then you should write whatever the main characteristics of the members of sample. And this information you should write in one sentence, or if you like, you may write it in the 2 sentences. The choice is yours. Okay, so this you have to write. Then after that, once you have written this, then after that you should write the name of tool used. Whatever the tool you have used, the name of the tool along with, if you have the reliability and validity, fine. Otherwise, the name of the tool will be perfectly all right. Then you should write experimental design. What? Because it is an experimental study, so you have to write the experimental design. And after in the experimental design, you should write the name of the design, then you should write the name of treatment, okay. Then you should write the duration of treatment, and all these informations you will get from that research only. You have not to take it from anywhere. You will get it from Yadav 1987. So duration of the treatment, and then you have to see methods of control, and you have to see the assessment of dependent variable. These information you must write as far as the experimental design is concerned. And if you don't have experimental design, no need of writing. And after that, you should write the name of statistical technique, used for data analysis. And then you should write the findings. Finding or findings, whatever it is. So this is how you have to write the 20 paragraph like this. And related to the strategies of stress management, you have to find out the common findings among these 20. What are the different strategies they have tried and which are effective? What are strategies which were not effective? And that you have to write as a gist, not here. So after that, then you take the second one, and the third one and the fourth one. And then at the end, you should write the gist, and that, or you can say sum up. This sum up is very important because this sum up you will be using for writing your rationale. Now, after the review of the related literature, now next is your 6.0, and that will be your rationale. Rationale, or you can say need and important. Rationale or need and importance. Now, in this one, when you are writing, you must write number one, why stress is important. Why should one conduct the research related to the stress? So you can write that importance or the need. Why should we conduct research related to the stress? You may write one paragraph, you may write two paragraphs, that is perfectly correct. But through those paragraphs, you should be able to highlight the need of conducting researches or the importance of conducting researches. And after that, then the gist which you have, the sum up which you have written, this sum up you can use in rationale. And at the end of the rationale, you should be able to highlight that it is important to conduct researches, experimental studies related to the stress or related to management of the stress. And the research, the findings indicate that there are very few researches which have been conducted. And on the basis of a few researches findings, it is not possible to journalize. So either you highlight this. Let me see what is the question coming. So how to write research? Yes, you will write the research gap, or you will write perfectly correct. The sum up, you will say that these studies found this, may Yadav 1900 and this and this found this, whereas these people, they found this. So you have to club those findings which are alike, which are quite similar. If there are researches where the physical exercises have been tried out, then you should club those. Where some other strategies classes, you club those. So you have to do the clubbing of the findings on the basis of the similarities. So whatever the similarities that you find, that you have to. So in the rationale, either you highlight the gap, that gap exists because no research has been conducted in India. But if researches have been conducted, then gap doesn't exist. Then you have to say, are there researches, but are they large number of researches or less number of researches? So you may say researches have been conducted, but the number is too small and it is not possible to journalize. Therefore, more researches are required. So like this, the rationale has to be built in very, very, very strongly. Okay. And these are the things which you have to include as far as the rationale is concerned. Then 7.0 will be your objectives. So you should write the following will be the objectives of this research. And then you can write these objectives here. Say like one, like maybe you want, say one, then you want to, whatever are the researches, the objectives you are writing. After objectives, then you have to write 8.0 will be your hypothesis. If you do not have any hypothesis, then you need not to write hypothesis here. Okay, so you can just write the hypothesis and say the following will be the hypothesis and then you can say 1 and you can say 2 and whatever it is. Now, these, see, the acceptance of the proposal depends upon the strong theoretical background of your research, the rationale of your research. Okay, I'm sorry. After the rationale, you should write the title. I'm so sorry. Title. I'm so sorry, I did not. So you should write the following will be the title of this research. And after that, you write your objective, and after that, you write your hypothesis. If there are no hypotheses, don't bother about the hypothesis. And after that, then in proposal, I will advise that you should not write the delimitation. Your objectives, when you are writing the objective, you know how to, objective is to be written in the present tense only. The hypothesis in the present tense only. इन दोनों को वर्तमान काल में लिखना है. उसमें टू कंपेयर मीन स्कोर्स. ओके, तो इसको प्रेजेंट ही टेंस में लिखना है, फ्यूचर टेंस में नहीं लिखना है. Let me see what is the question in the question answer. Now, Neetu Malhotra, if you are studying the effect of introduction of Kraft cluster on what, you have not written that variable on which you want to study the effect. So therefore, this is not all right, because you have not written the variable here. Because when you are studying the effect of the Kraft, then on what? Is it a skill development? Is it what? So therefore, that's not all right. You need an importance is, yes, significance, need and importance, rationale, these are meaning the same. You can use them. Sir, I have question in related to last lecture. You have given 2 examples of writing objective to compare mean. the first one, I asked you that which one is correct. And then I told you the second one is correct, not the first one. Why second? Why not first one? Because you said to compare the stress. You can't compare the stress. You compare the mean score of the stress. So therefore the second one, all right, not the first one. Sir, in most of the theses, objectives are written like one. That is why I'm saying the quality of research in India is very, 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 very weak. And you know, for the first time, the President of India did talk about the quality of researches in India. Why? When Indians go abroad, then they do very well. They are conducting researches of a high quality. Why? Why are we not doing? So that's what is more important, Premjit Kaur. So you should understand it. So the second one is correct. The first one is not correct. Okay. All right. Let us proceed further. Some more question here. All right. Let us see what are the question. Sir, how many difference between objectives and research questions are exactly the same. There is only the difference in the wording. Let me write. Say if I will write. Now, those which are dissimilar, you have to keep them separate. Singhji, Ramananda Singh, those which are not alike, you keep them separate, no problem at all. See, there will be only three types. Either that they help in reducing the stress or they do not help in reducing the stress. Okay, these are the two categories in which you will find. Okay. Reason for writing objective. See, objective have to be in the present tense because that's what you will be doing it. But will does not mean that it has to be written in the future tense. Hypothesis has to be in the present tense because hypotheses have to be formulated on the basis of something. And whenever you formulate on the basis of something, you can't write it in the future tense. It has to be in the present tense. So objectives and research question. Okay. Say if you want, let me give you one example. I'm giving an example. Say objective. Example of objective writing. Say, I say like this, to compare mean scores of reasoning of male and female students. Okay, this is, and let's say example of example of research questions writing. Research question. What is the difference? What is the difference in What's the difference in mean scores of reasoning of male and female teachers? That is only the difference. Meaning is exactly the same. And that is what you have to write. If you are writing objective as a heading, you have to write a simple sentence. If you are writing research question as a heading, then you have to write that in the question form. Otherwise, there is no other difference. Absolutely okay. All right, we go ahead. Let me see what is the other question coming. Please suggested few books on basics of research. If you want to understand some of the basics, if you like, you may purchase my book. I normally do not recommend my own book, but if you are so keen to improve your basic understanding, then you can definitely take my book and you can ask Pramod Kumar Gupta. He will give you the reference. He knows it. All right. Let me see what is the question here. So I have a question related to lecture you have given to, this I have answered. Okay, any other question? Sir, you said similarities are to be grouped together and in sum up. Ramanand Singh, I have already explained this to you, that if they are not similar, you can write them separately, no problem at all. In PhD study, should one write both? No. Whether it is PhD thesis or it is a research proposal, you should not write both, because there is no sense. And I'll tell you, if you write both, then it will decrease the quality of your research, and it will indicate that neither you know research and nor the guide knows research, because the guide will approve the thesis. So please do not do that. You have not to write both. Okay. Now, once you have, let us go back. Once you have written the hypothesis, then after hypothesis, my dear friends, then you should write methodology. And in this one, my 10.1 will be sample. Now here you have to write the details of the sample of your research, which you will be taking. So when you are writing the information about sample, then you should write the population. What will be the population? It has to be written in the future tense. The population you have to write. Then you have to write the sampling technique which you want to use. Then you have to write the sample size. And then you have to write the main characteristics of the members of the sample. Now, these are the information which you have to give. Okay? And these will be in the future tense. Then 10.2 will be your tool. Tool or tools. It depends upon how many objectives you will be having. So if you have tool, then name of the tool. The science people, they will not write tool, they write instrument. And they have to describe the procedure of standardization or procedure of calibration, how they calibrated their instrument or how they really standardize their instrument. So you have to write that. So those who are in the social science, they write the name of the tool, then they write name of the developer. If you want to develop the tool, then you can write researcher will develop the tool for assessing this. Do not use the word measurement. Measurement word will be used only by science students. And assessment word is used by people belonging to any other subject. Okay, what is the question here? Let me see the question. I am telling you how to write methodology. How do we write methodology for research in literature? And I'll tell you, what do you write in the literature? You just wait for a second. For literature, I will write. In the literature, you have to write the sample means whatever is the author you are taking. And that author must have written many books. How many books will you be taking out of that? And how do you select those books? So that's what you have to write. Otherwise, there will not be any tool for you. You will not be using the tool. सर जो रिसर्च इंग्लिश में लिखे गए हैं उनका हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए चाहिए. देखिए, अगर आप उसको ट्रांसलेट करते हैं तो आपको ट्रांसलेट करने में ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि उसका अर्थ नहीं बदलना चाहिए. अदरवाइज तो आपको अगर इंग्लिश में है तो आपको इंग्लिश में ही लिखनी चाहिए और हिंदी वाली है तो उसको हिंदी में ही लिखना चाहिए. मुझे नहीं लगता कि आपको, क्योंकि जब आप इंग्लिश को हिंदी में अनुवाद करेंगे तो हो सकता है कि कोई ऐसे शब्द हों जिनका आपको सही शब्द ना पता हो और उससे अर्थ भी बदल सकता है. तो कोशिश करें कि इंग्लिश है तो उसको इंग्लिश में ही रहने दें, कोई दिक्कत की बात नहीं. Okay. Let me see what is the next question. हिंदी के लिए लिटरेचर को एज इट इज इंग्लिश पीएचडी में ही लिखा. हाँ, आप लिख सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. ओके, तो नेम ऑफ द टूल, नेम ऑफ द डेवलपर. फिर आपको यहां पे देखना पड़ेगा that whatever the tool you are using, are there different dimensions? If there are dimensions or aspects, or so if there are many dimensions, then you should write what are the different dimensions. For example, in personality, there may be extrovert and introvert. These are the two dimensions. If you have adjustment, it may be home adjustment, school adjustment, peer adjustment, social adjustment. It may be 4 dimensions. So whatever is the dimension, that's what you can do. Can we use unpublished but standardized tool? Yes. If they are standardized tool, you can use, no problem at all. Whether they are published or not published, no problem at all. Sir, for science instrument, does it relate to the? No. Instrument does not mean interview, observe, no. Interview and observation. Interview is a schedule. Observation is a schedule. And these are unstandardized tools. So in science, instrument is only means you are using different instruments. Right at the moment, what name I can say, I'm not able to recall any name of the instrument, but Minal, do you belong to science or social science? If you are from science, then tell me the name of one of the instrument. Science, tell me the name of the instrument which you are using. Yeah, Nene, vernier caliper is a small thing. Don't teach me like this. I know vernier calipers, I know. Screw gauge, I know. Balance, I know. Physical balance, I know. I know all that. But my dear friend, these are small things. I want some big one. No, I don't know because I did my MSc physics long back, some 50 years back. So I don't remember now. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so then the different dimensions, aspects, or you can say components. So that's what you have to write. Okay, let me see what is the next question. Has spectrometer? Yes. Yes, khare. Spectrometers you can, no problem. Okay, then no, telescope, all right. Telescope can also be there, no problem. Yes, but telescopes are of different type these days. Okay, so after writing this and these details of the tools which you will be using will be available in the manual of that particular tool. Whatever the tool you want to use, you have to take the manual, and from the manual you have to find out all these informations. Then you have to write number of items, how many items are there. Then you have to write, is there any time limit? Then you have to write the scoring, how the scoring will be done. Then you also have to write the age, for which age group that tool is meant, then scoring, then reliability and validity. These information you will get from the manual, and therefore that's what you should try to write under tool. And if you want to do an experimental study, then you have to write the experimental design. And in the experimental design, you have to write name of the design, which you will be using. And then you have to write the name of the treatment, then you have to write the procedure of giving the treatment. Once you have written the procedure, then you should write duration of the treatment, Okay, the procedure, duration of the treatment, then methods of control. Methods of controlling intervening variables, and then assessment of dependent variable. Okay, now these are the details which you have to give for the experimental design. And after experimental design, then you have, if you are not doing an experimental study, then you need not to give the experimental design details. There is no need of them writing. Then you are 10.3. Okay, what is the question? Let me see. In descriptive studies, there are no designs. Okay, the designs are only and only in the experimental studies. So those people who want to write designs in the descriptive study, what design? There is no design available, my dear friend. Okay, you should write procedure of data collection. So that is all right. For correlational study, what is to be written? There is correlational study, there will be no design. So this will be only for experiment. And if you are conducting a survey study or any other study, then after tool, you should write procedure of data collection. In the descriptive study, you should write procedure of data collection after the tool. In historical research, you should write after, because you will not be using any tool. So you write procedure of data collection. How will you collect the information? Which primary source will you take and which secondary source will you take? Topic related to law. Yes, I can take Rao, just wait. Or you can tell me in law, you can do survey study in the law, you can do historical study in the law, you can do even experimental study also. So there are many topics related to the law. Will you please give example of first 3.10.3? The example is that if you are doing an experimental study, then you may be using, if you are from social science, you will be using quasi-experimental design. If you want to know details of it, you can attend my next webinar, which Dr. Pramod Kumar Gupta will tell you, and there I am explaining. 3 days I will be teaching about experimental designs. And 3 days means 2 hours per day. So 6 hours I will take to explain the experimental design. Okay, so now you can write the procedure of data collection. And once you have written the procedure of data collection, yes, family law you can take, but if you are taking the family law, do you want to do the survey type of research or which type of research or historical type of research? It all depends upon you. Rao, it all depends upon you, what type you want. Now here in the procedure of data collection, you must write the sequence in which you will be collecting the data. Okay, and this has to be written in sufficient detail so that the experts can read it carefully and then they can understand that how you propose to collect the data, and if they have to suggest you something in order to improve the quality of your research, then they will suggest it. So it has to be written in detail, okay, and in the future tense. Then 10.5 will be data analysis. So you should write the data will be analyzed with the help of this. If you are collecting the qualitative data, then you can say the data will be analyzed with the help of content analysis. Or if you want to do meta-analysis, or if you want to do SWOT analysis. But if you have a quantitative data, then you must write the data will be analyzed with the help of this technique, this and this. That's all. That's what you have to do. Now, those people who are writing the proposal for their PhD, it is up to this point they have to write. And after that, then they have to write the references. Then it is 11.0 will be references. Then you have to write the references. And you must know how to write references for the printed journal if you are taking any study from the journal, or if you are taking study from the PhD thesis, or if you are taking studies from some online, then how exactly the reference has to be written. Now, in this, you need not to write the bibliography. You know, the bibliography is wider than the references. The references means you will only write those which you are referring in the thesis, in your proposal. If you have not referred it in the proposal, you need not to give the reference. So the references, I will tell you in detail when tomorrow, I am going to take tomorrow and day after tomorrow, the thesis writing. So at that point of time, I will explain you how the bibliography has to be written. The way bibliography has to be written, the same way references have to be written. Okay, so this, I hope you can wait till. Now, those people who want to write the proposal for getting the funds, so up to data analysis you should do. And after data analysis, then 11.0 will be, you have to give the time schedule. Time schedule. That means you have to provide Neetu Gupta, there is nothing like analytical studies. Yesterday also someone asked and I said there is nothing like analytical studies. Either it is qualitative or it is quantitative. There is nothing like, even in chemistry also, you have experimental study or you have the theoretical study. Okay, I'm still continuing. Do you want to go? Okay, so therefore you have to give the time schedule. You have to find out which activities will you be doing and how much time will you require. so that you can find out the total time which you require in order to complete this project. Now, the time schedule is not for PhD. I repeat, the time schedule is not for PhD. Time schedule is only for those who want funds from different agencies for conducting the research. So this time schedule is for that. So you have to say the activities which you have to do, and then the time that you require. So that's what you have to write. So make a table and then you have to write that. After that, you should write how much the financial assistance that you require. Financial assistance. Now, the financial assistance that you require, each funding agency has a pro forma and they have already listed the different items. Say one may be, say, research fellow. If you want research fellow, how many research fellows you want? And then what should be the monthly? And then what should be, if you are taking a project for the 2 years, then what the total amount that you want for the research fellow? If you want senior research fellow, then you have to have for that. Or if you just want research fellow, then you have to have the amount there, how much amount you want. Okay. Then after that, you should try to tell them that if you have to purchase some tools, how much money you want to spend for the tools. If you want to purchase some books, then how much money you want. Then if you want to purchase some computers, then how much money do you want? Okay, so money for the tool, money for the this. Then another is, if you are developing the tool, development of tool, if you want to develop the tool, either you want to purchase the tool or you want to develop the tool. If you want to purchase the tool because it's already developed, then how much? Or if you want to develop the tool, then how much will be the money you require? After the computer, then you should know how much money you require for data collection. How much money you want for data collection. Then how much money you want data analysis. Okay, then how much money you want for report writing. And how much money you want for contingency. And then what will be the overhead charges. Overhead charges are normally 10% of the total, or right now, I don't know, it might have increased. Okay, under these heads, or they will provide you the head, you have to give your whatever the money that you require. And at the end, then you have to write the references. So this will be, I think, 14 point, yes, this will be 13 point, okay. then you have to write the references. So I have told, if you want to write research proposal, then how much you should, and if you want to write proposal for getting the funds, then what all you should know. The references and bibliography, how to write, that I'm going to tell you either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It depends. Any question you want to ask before I close? If I want to use tool standardized, which is a Urdu language, but I need it in English, you can translate it. But after translating, you have to standardize it. If you want to understand the complete procedure, Harpreet, you can attend my next webinar, where I am taking 3 days for tools and 3 days for experimental design. You have to translate, and then you have to establish the reliability and validity and item analysis. Everything you have to do it, because you are adapting. From where I can get standardized tool? There are many vendors. You know, National Psychological Corporation is there. You know, Manasayan is there in Delhi. There are many others. See, the statement of problem is what I wrote the title. This is the title which I wrote. If you like, you can write statement of problem. Thank you very much. You can write statement of problem here, no problem at all. What is the other question? Let me see. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So therefore, now I'm closing it. So over to the organizers.
Okay, sir. Many thanks to you, sir.
Thank you
And
very-
many thanks to all participants. We will meet again at the same time tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
All right.